Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the TwoKaiser TwoKai Narikiri set from Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. And basically what this is it's a 2-pack set of the DX Geardalinger and the TwoKai buckle. Now what's interesting is the TwoKai buckle is not sold on its own. So with the original release of the Geardalinger and the Zenkai buckle, you could get them as a set, you could get them both separately, that way you could kind of pick and choose which ones you wanted. With this one you can either get the DX Geardalinger on its own, or you can get this set. You cannot buy the TwoKai buckle on its own. I think that's a little weird. I'm wondering if the original buckle didn't sell that well and that's why they did this. That way they made it available to people who wanted it, but they didn't want to get stuck with a bunch of just buckles on their own sitting around clogging shelves. That's just speculation on my part. I have no idea. But the DX Geardalinger comes with the TwoKaiser gear and then the TwoKai Riki gear. If you have the TwoKai Katana gear, that's what comes with the buckles. So if you buy just the Geardalinger, you'll get these two. If you buy the whole set, obviously you get all three. Now, if you did buy just the Geardalinger, I'm sure that the TwoKai Katana gear is probably going to be in the next round of Gashapon and Candy Toy sets, so I wouldn't be too worried about it if you couldn't find this set, because this set kind of went fast. Especially where the places that I usually look. I usually get my stuff from HLJ. I was able to get an order in, but then they couldn't fulfill it. And I know a lot of people couldn't even get orders in because they kind of went up and got the order stopped really quick. I got this from Amazon Japan, and it actually got here really quickly. I was surprised how fast it got here. But hey, very excited. So this is pretty neat. I'm very excited about this. The front of the box here, you can see there's a lot going on. He does have two forms in addition to his normal base form. His normal base form, of course, is based on Gokaiger. Then he has a form based on O-Ranger and a form based on Shinkenger, as you can see right here when he uses these two gears. So that's pretty neat. It does have a gun and a sword mode. Not terribly different from each other, but we'll get into all that a little bit later. But just front of the box here, very exciting, very colorful, very eye-catching. I like it quite a bit. If we take a look at the side here, it shows you the two individual pieces of the DX Geardalinger and then the TwoKai buckle, as you can see over here. On this side, really just kind of shows you how to thread the strap through the buckle. Not too much going on there. On the bottom here, just kind of shows off those other two forms. And I will say this is another release, and I guess this is going to become commonplace for Bandai now, where there are no directions in the box. You have to scan this little QR code up here if you want to get the directions. Now, it does take you to nice full-color directions, which is nice. But yeah, I guess they're just getting away from paper directions in the box. So everything is just scan that code, you get the directions. I personally like paper directions, but I mean, they are in color when you get them online, so that's kind of nice. You have some other cool stuff going on here. Of course, it shows you, basic how to use it. Shows him use two forms. Of course, the gears go in the buckle. Not too much going on there. But then we get a cool little sneak peek, and I want to kind of zoom in here just a little bit, of the mecha. These pictures have been online, but you can see the Crocodile mode, and then this is the TwoKai Katana, and then TwoKai Riki. So he has the two modes there, which is pretty neat. So get a fun little sneak peek there on the back. But let's go ahead, let's get everything out of the box here, and we'll take a closer look. So here's everything you get in the box. Of course, you have the DX Geardalinger, but we'll start over here with the TwoKai buckle, just because there's not really much to get into. It's just exactly like the Zenkai buckle, just done in red plastic. Still have that nice gold there on the front. Looks very sharp. You can hear our gears rattling around inside. Here are the loops on the back where you thread the belt through. The belt is included in the box. I don't usually bother with it because, again, I don't wear these. I just like to use these for storage. But that's pretty much it for the TwoKai buckle. If you open it up, here are our three gears inside. So let's go ahead and take them out so we can get a closer look. And I'm basically just going to put this off to the side because that's really all there is for that. So taking a closer look here at the TwoKaiser gear. Very fun, very sparkly. Love that hollow foil there. Looking very sharp. You have the Zenkaiger symbol there on the back. Now I wanted to do a quick comparison with the normal 35 Gokaiger gear, and you can see with the notches on the side that they are different, so they should make different sounds in the changers. So pretty cool there. Next up we have the TwoKai Riki gear, which I'm assuming he's called Riki like Kikai Sentai O-Ranger. Nice metallic blue. Got the star on the back. And then again, doing a comparison to the O-Ranger gear, you can see the notches around the edges are identical. So these should be read the same in both changers. So they do have identical notches. And then last but certainly not least, we have Zenkai TwoKai Katana, I believe is his name, which would make sense because he is for Shinkenger. Nice metallic red there. Have the fire symbol there on the back. And then again, bringing in the Shinkenger gear, you can see that their notches are the same, just as the case with the O-Ranger, but different symbols there on the back. So pretty cool. I really like all three of these gears. Very neat. Going to put them off to the side temporarily so we can jump into the Geardalinger. I guess I'll get the name out of the way now. I mean, really, one's the Geardalinger and one's the Geardalinger. Why? Why are they so similarly named? That seems really dumb to me. I'm sorry. I feel like there's a ton of cool names you could have come up with for this thing. I just don't really get that. I'm not a huge fan of the design of this thing. I feel like I'm all for having the captain's wheel because I get it, he's a pirate. You know, you have the captain's wheel of a ship. I like it. I just wish it was better integrated. Like, couldn't you have had it here maybe? Like, just have a chunk of it kind of run through here and then you could just spin it like on here as kind of like the trigger almost. And then that would spin the gear. Just having this whole gigantic thing on the back seems kind of ridiculous to me. I mean, this just is a big honking thing that just hangs on there. I mean, maybe it's like a guard or something to use as a shield. I'm not really sure. It's just a little goofy looking to me, if I'm being honest. The other thing is the sword gimmick. It's okay. If you push this button down here, the blade flips around. And now it looks like a sword. Honestly, I don't hate the look of the sword. You know, it kind of integrates decently. I just feel like when it goes to, you push this back in to flip it back down, if they were going for some kind of like guard, like if this could have come down here and clicked into this somehow, I feel like it would have looked more cohesive because then it all kind of would have looked like a guard or a piece of the gun. I don't know. When you look at this thing from the front, it looks like a bunch of stuff just hanging off the side. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical. It's possible. And it doesn't stop it from being a fun toy. I just feel like the design could have been a lot more streamlined and just a little bit more care put into it because it's just a big honking goofy looking thing. I like loading the gears from the side. I think that's really cool. I do like that aspect of it. Just, I don't know, like I said, it's just kind of goofy to me. Anyway, this is the little button you press down to slide the case off to put your 2 AAA batteries inside. And then here is the button to turn it on and off. So let's go ahead and do that now. Very cool. So you get kind of a generic, like, gun-firing, sword clanging sound. And that's because if you go ahead and flip this up, the sound does not change. So it's just one sound to cover them all. Not really too much going on there. You can hold the trigger down. Okay, so we can hold it down again. And you can kind of shake it. So it's actually kind of neat is the number of times you shake it is the number of times it fires. So like if we do it, I did 4, then I did 2. So that time it did 3, which is actually kind of neat. So that's kind of cool. I think it's neat when it can tell how many times I always think of like the Budo Ryuho, which was the same. Like it could tell how many times you pulled the trigger and make that many splat sounds with the grapes. So I always think that's kind of neat. So I do like that aspect of it. That's pretty much all it does on its own. But let's go ahead and bring in the TwoKaiser gear. So we'll go ahead and pop this open. So there you go, you're transformed. While it's doing the standby music, you can shake it to make it say hey. I don't know why, but you can. So nothing different there. Now if you just hit the trigger at this point, it just makes that goofy little noise, and then it sounds like, you know, a balloon being deflated or something like that. So you have to keep spinning it until it eventually makes a new noise. So there you go. We will flip this around now. So it just goes back around now. I don't know why, but when it says operation, it sounds like gaborinchu to me. I don't know why. Guess it's the same number of syllables or something. So we'll pop that one out, and now we will do the TwoKai Riki. So you can hear the music changes. For O Ranger, they're really leaning into this like Egyptian motif. You can even kind of hear the sound effect for a normal shot is different. And last but not least, TwoKai Katana. So I wanted to show off real quick, just to prove the point. You can just take the O-Ranger gear. So you get the same sound effects with that. And then if we take the Zenkaiger gear, but let's see what happens when we try the normal GoKaiger gear. So that sounded like it said Zenkaiger. That might have said Sentai? I'm not 100% sure what that said. But you can tell it's not the same as the TwoKaiser sound effects. I want to go ahead and bring in a bunch of more different Sentai gears so we can see what happens and try them out. So first up, we're going to try Zenkaiger. So no Zenkaio. Okay. Next up, let's try Juran. So that just said Zenkaiger. Alright, next let's try Go Ranger. That kind of just sounded like it said Zenkaiger again. How about Lupin Ranger? So it sounds like it just says Zenkaiger for anything that's not the main four that it has preloaded, being TwoKaiser, TwoKai Riki, TwoKai Katana, and Zenkaiser himself. So we already know that TwoKai Riki and TwoKai Katana will just be O Ranger and Shin Kendra in the Geardalinger because they have exact same indentations around the side, but I did want to check out what the TwoKaiser gear does in here. So it sounds like it just says New Hero? So I don't know. This thing is only okay. It definitely has a few problems. I think some of it is our own fault, at least for me personally, and I think a lot of people are in this boat as well. boat pirates. See what I did there? Anyway, we all heard that this was going to have the same voice as the Gokai changer, I think we all got our hopes up. It's going to be a full reader. We're finally going to get to hear all the teams from Go Busters till now in the Gokai changer's voice, and that's just not the case here. It really reads 4 distinct gears, the 3 you see here and Zenkaiser. Everything else it pretty much just calls Zenkaiger, and I don't really know why. That's kind of weird. You think it would at least say Super Sentai or something like that. I don't know. That was a bit of a letdown, but like I said, I think we kind of set ourselves up for that one because most 6th changers don't have a full reader in them, so I think that was kind of, ambitious of an ask for that to happen. Would have been nice, would have absolutely loved it, but it didn't happen. But just looking at this thing purely objectively, it's a gaudy, goofy looking thing in my opinion. I'm sorry, I just don't love the look of it. I really like the aspect of loading the gears in from the side. I think that's really cool, and I like the idea of the captain's wheel. I just don't think it needs to be this giant piece hanging off the side of it. I would have liked it to see incorporated more into the trigger area so that maybe, it's like a like basically the whole wheel is in there behind the gear, and then you just kind of, only this much of it was exposed, or I guess, at one time is all you would see as you just kind of spun it around like the trigger, like you're cocking the trigger. I think that might have been cooler. Just would have been a little bit more incorporated into the gun. And also this giant piece just hanging down here like a big piece of bangs from your hair or something like that. It just looks weird to me. I don't like it. If it connected somehow, maybe you could kind of make it look like a cohesive gun piece. When it's flipped up for the whole like gun blade, it looks okay. You have something kind of Final Fantasy VIII going on there, and I can get behind it a little bit. But it just hanging down here, I just think it looks stupid. I just don't really think it works. I don't always need a sword and a gun to be built into one. Like, I'd rather you do one and pick one and dedicate to it and make it good, as opposed to this weird, like, halfway in between thing they got going on here. So I don't hate it. I do like how you load in from the side. I think some of the sounds are fun. Spinning the wheel is fun. I just think it's gigantic hanging there off the side. I do really like the 3 gears that you get. I think the TwoKai buckle is fun, even though there's not really much to it. And it's certainly not very different from the Zenkai buckle. Yeah, I don't know. This one just left me a little disappointed. And like I said, I think it's a disappointment of my own design because I kind of got my hopes up for something I definitely should not have. But at the end of the day, I think it's a kind of goofy design. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't have fun. There's not definitely fun to be had with this. I wouldn't say that there's not. I don't know. I feel like if this is on the shelf next to the Geardalinger, I'm going to pick up the Geardalinger and I'm going to play with that just because I think it's more fun. I like the design of it. I think it's a little bit neater. Plus that has lights and sounds, and I'm pretty sure this only has sounds because I haven't really found any lights on the thing. And also, I cannot understand why one is the Geardalinger with a T and one is the Geardalinger with a D. I'm sorry, that's dumb. You could have called this so many different things, and that's what you chose. I just think that's stupid. I just don't really understand it. I still don't understand it. I don't think I'm ever going to understand it. Like, the first one was an obvious pun. Geardalinger, like Gatalinger. It's a Gatling gun, but you have gears in it. Geardalinger. I get it. It all fits. Geardalinger? Like, is there some pun in here I'm missing? Plus it's so close to the other one. I don't want to harp on this all day. I really don't, but it's so dumb. I'm sorry. So dumb. So disappointed with the name on this one. But like I said, at the end of the day, I still think it's a fun toy. It's just not as fun as it could be, and I think it's a little goofy looking. That's my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.